Brooklyn, New York. How you doing today?
I'm good.
I don't really want to start too formal. So maybe let's start basic. How was your week?
Really dope. I played a festival called Brainchild outside of London, and a festival called Sacred Ground outside of Berlin.
Yeah.
And then I got to chill with my friends in Berlin for a few days, and then I came here to meet you guys.
And you have friends in Berlin because you studied there for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was that experience?
It was very beautiful, and I'm still feeling so grateful for it because of the people I met, and to have a place in this world that feels safe and feels like a second home is really fun and interesting beyond New York City, you know?
Yeah. I know that you were involved with a group called Baketown Collective, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was their deal? What were they about?
We're a group of artists who live part-time or full-time and work and make art in Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
We collaborate and throw parties and put together shows, and
That sounds fun.
yeah, it's kind of this organic thing that's happening, and my friend Noah put the name on it, Baketown. It's a physical space. It's a venue that he has in Schöneberg, and it's really taught me about how fun it is and important it is to gather with friends and with people you love and make something together and collaborate and use what you have.
Yeah. Kind of just whatever's ready-made, whatever's around.
Whatever we got. Oh, you can do this. Oh, I'll do the toilet. Okay, you do this. And I'll get the tickets, and just no. There's no job too small, too big, and something super exciting is that we've been going to a festival for years now, and this year it's called Garbage. It's in Poland, and this year we're curating our own stage. So that's in August.
Really cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be super fun to headline that and to share our collaborations, because it's a bunch of different acts from a bunch of different countries all together.
That's cool. I was looking on your website, and I saw that you had sample packs up there. I was wondering, how did you choose the sounds that you wanted to, have for open release? And
I'm always making and recording. I love to record. I use my voice memos a lot. I have a little baby Zoom recorder that my mom gave me for Christmas when I was a kid, and I use it a lot as well. So in looking at all of that, I just think I had a lot of recordings and wanted to share them, and wanted them to be put to good use, because it's just taking up gigs upon gigs in my phone.
I know that feeling. To your knowledge, has anyone used them?
Yes.
Do you know any songs that people might want to check out?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know them by name actually, because people use it and then they email it to me and I listen to it. That's how I know people use it.
That's nice.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know them by name per se. Okay. To say on the spot.
You went on tour with Jamila Woods.
Yes.
Was it earlier this year?
It was just in the summer, just a few weeks ago. I missed them so much, and the tour group chat is still lit, and I love them. I just love them.
What was it like performing at her shows?
Jamila herself is an angel. Yeah. I love her lyrics and I love her music. So as a fan, it's crazy just to be there.
Yeah.
I'll jump, and to see it all the time. I think every night after night, that was really healing for me, and to have that energy, it was so beautiful. And the audiences as well, especially in the West Coast. It's crazy. Felt like a really safe space where I could experiment and really be present and vulnerable, and I had a lot of moments where I just really got to be free, especially in Berkeley, and up there in the Bay Area. That was such a great show, and I'll never forget that feeling. And even in LA too, there were some nights where I was just like, what is happening? Like, this is so weird.
So, I mean, I know music is a daily practice for you in a lot of ways, and I guess the tour fits into that well. But, I mean, don't reveal all your secrets. But what is, like, one thing you might do, like, every time you get started up? Or is it different every time?
Like, started up to make music?
Yeah. Besides turn on Ableton.
Which is so important, actually.
Yeah.
Before I left for this interview, I've set up my studio. I think that's something you should do. If you know you're going to leave, or if you know you're going to smoke, set up your studio right before, and then it's there already.
Because if you get back and your rose is smacked,
and then you're like, I don't know. I don't know about it right now. No, exactly. I think, yeah.
That's fun.
That's a little hint. And also just, I'm very portable. Like, my whole studio fits in my backpack, and I think, like, there's like no hierarchy to like music making. I think it's everywhere, and I think like you could make a beat on your iPhone and it might be the hottest shit ever, you know?
Exactly.
So and I know a lot of people who are already on that wave, so like a daily practice thing is like, don't like, just make it, don't worry about how you have to make it.
And that's how your first EP kind of came together, just over 2 years, right?
Yeah, I would say that.
That's nice. I mean, it's definitely, so you had to grow along with the project, and I'm sure something's in the works. I'm not going to ask you to reveal your secrets again, but how has continuing to make music after release of Direct Line been for you? Does it feel the same? Does it feel different at all?
Every day feels different than the last, I think. I think that's the only thing I'm really paying attention to sometimes. I don't know. It's your question. I don't know. Like, what would make it different?
I mean,
what would?
So I read the essay that inspired your name by Federico Garcia Lorca, and a quote that caught my eye was that the duende never repeats itself any more than the waves of the sea do in a storm. So I'm like, like, does your creative energy kind of manifest differently from day to day? Because once you get into a bit of a routine, at least speaking personally, I feel like I can approach something the same way too many times as well. But I don't know. That's just me.
I think like I'm super spread out around the world right now, like living out of my suitcase.
Yeah.
And I think reinvention is necessary for my survival in a sense, and over time in life it has been super essential to my livelihood, just being able to adapt to different places, and also like to be fluid, I guess. After Direct Line, I mean, I made Direct Line in school, so after Direct Line I was in Berlin, so the new music is definitely geographically, like, I would say that the music that I make is geographically linked to wherever I am, and that's just because I'm someone who likes to be deeply immersed into things, I guess. And
so, like, what does Berlin sound like compared to what New York sounds like to you? If you could try, like, make the distinction.
I would say that I would say that Berlin is a non-stop kick drum.
Yeah.
4 on the floor kick drum.
Of course, yeah.
And I would say that New York definitely is a city that sleeps, I think.
Yeah.
And that's fine because we're hard workers, and this is like a different vibe.
Definitely.
It's a totally different vibe, different energy.
That's cool. So your banner on Twitter, it reads, "Freedom and justice are connected to mass-based literacy." And I know you've talked about wanting to publish books a lot in the past. So I'm just wondering where that love for literature and for publishing kind of came from.
I always felt like books were, as a kid, it was like an escapist thing, and it was such like a safe place for me to learn things that maybe I didn't learn at home for some reason. And I also am heavily affected by brilliant writing. Like, as a human, I love writing. Like, I love to read text, and I think it's funny with the way that it has the ability to affect me. And I don't know, I'm just thinking about different ways to share that with people. I wrote an essay in a book, and I was first published this May, like a few weeks ago. And it's called "I Will Not Be Erased." It was published by Galdem and Walker Books in London, and it's a book for 14-year-old girls or around that age, like letters to your younger self type beat.
Yeah.
And like chicken noodle soup type beat. So
exactly.
Yeah, I mean for the teenage soul on the side. Oh
wow. Yeah.
You know.
I had a few of those books.
Yeah. So I don't know those kind of things saved my life. I don't know. I think that's important, and I just meet such brilliant people where it's like, man, instead of if I ever come up in this shit, that's just what I would invest in, like just other people's writing and ideas and how they want to tell stories. I think like stories and telling stories it's just so important to share the human experience in different ways and from different perspectives. It's something that comforts us. I think you wouldn't be here interviewing me if that weren't true, like somehow.
Yeah. I mean, words just have power.
But I mean, somehow there's a whole culture around music. Like, I think about it, and like the tour bus driver, he lives his life on the opposite side of the day as me, and like also has a totally different life where he devotes months at a time to driving a huge ass truck just for this circus carnival thing that we artists do. And I think that is insane that this culture like molded this person's life in that way. I don't know, in a completely different way than it has mine. So I think like that's just one example of how like us, like people who have interest in one thing can enter from so many different ways.
I mean, everything's just one big conversation, really.
Absolutely.
All this interaction.
And that's exciting.
I think so.
And I think that with the internet, and with just like the ability to talk directly to the people that you want to, make space with, I think that's exciting as well.
Definitely. Wow. I gotta.
Sorry was this edited or am I like rambling on the radio?
I think rambling on the radio is the whole point.
No, no.
It's fine.
I'm gonna say less.
Never say less. I think your music kind of works to openly embrace like the good and the bad, and I also think that a lot of music kind of tries to run away from the bad in a lot of ways, even if it doesn't identify that way. But were there any experiences in your life that kind of taught you that dealing with negative emotions means you should deal with them instead of kind of trying to avoid them or run away from them?
I feel like I'm only learning this now. It's so hard. I think my new work, especially moving to Berlin, and I never realized how crazy it is to when you're just always being threatened, or you're always being like, you just grew up in New York and it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like I thought it was crazy to go to Berlin and just be like, whoa, I'm in a different country. Nothing, no one knows me. It's different. And I was able to process things that I never thought about myself ever, because I just didn't have the space to physically in New York City. And so
distance is important sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of get too caught up in a place sometimes, maybe.
Yeah, but it's also like, man, I really wanted to link this back to your original point, but I
don't care.
Fuck.
I don't really care.
No, I curse on the radio.
Bleep
me?
We'll bleep you, maybe.
Come on.
I mean, you gotta keep it raw.
No, it's true, but man, I had something so... There was a reason why I told you about Berlin and... emotional process, maybe. Just that, I don't know, I can't remember what the thought was.
It's fine.
I'm sad.
Why are you sad?
Because I couldn't connect the dots, but it's fine. I lose the thought.
I think you think I want a certain answer.
No, I don't. I don't think that. I actually just for my comfort, I want to make sense when I talk to other people, especially publicly.
It's making sense to me at least.
Okay, I'm happy.
You were on the latest MIKE record.
Yeah, how did that happen?
Caleb Giles' next record.
Why did that happen?
I think they think you may be very talented. That might be the case.
They're like my favorite artists. It's crazy.
But what was it like working with them?
My hands are gonna get clammy. I just love Mike so much. War on My Pen, I listened to that on this tour I was on. It was so fucking cold.
Yeah.
And I was in this van for hours and listening to that on loop. And again, this idea of how to process negative emotions. Your original,
Exactly.
you know, the way he deals with regret and calculates these things that I'm so afraid to confront. It's so like, it's like baby food almost. It's like an introduction to like
To being honest.
yeah, and with yourself, and I love that, and I thank him for that, and I need to tell him all the time. So
Like, he's unflinchingly honest. It's ridiculous.
I just don't even know how, like, I ended up meeting him. I just cry at the thought that I can tell one of my favorite artists ever, thank you, like whenever I want. That's awesome. So I do take
cool.
that. I will bother him for the rest of my life because he's excellent. And Caleb also is like a brother to me. We jam so often, like just over Ableton making beats, and we actually have a banger. Everything's crazy with him, so we haven't finished it, but we have a banger that I wanna share, and I wanna sing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to maybe even do 3 different arrangements of it. When I love something, I'm like, let's break it down again. Let's break it down again. Let's do 3 versions. But no, Caleb's amazing too, and I'm really excited for his project to drop.
I think it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be beautiful.
So you perform as part of a band, you have a backup singer sometimes, but you also go completely solo at times. So how does it feel different when you're on the stage by yourself or with others? Or does it feel different?
Yeah, it feels really fucking different. It's interesting because it involves blame somehow. It involves like a bunch of really dark emotions and deep things and reliance, like self-reliance, and being able to say that being able to just do it, being able to just it be you, and you feel good about the way that you're sharing your songs. It took me a while to get there, and sometimes I still am not on point. Like, I'd be at the gig and I mess up. People love it, but still somehow, but I know in my heart that I'm like, oh, this isn't where it wants to be. But I only started playing solo in March, so I'm really proud that I finished like Europe and American tour solo. And I also feel like when I have other people's energies on stage, it's really easy for me to like just delegate things and be like, okay, you're responsible for this, I'm responsible for this, y'all are responsible for that, you know? And it's definitely really peaceful, but at the same time, I don't know.
All right.
I like being independent also.
It's a good thing to be, I think.
I hope it makes sense. I don't know.
Let's see.
I'm rambling.
I think that's great.
No, so you're admitting I'm rambling.
That's kind of what I want to happen.
Oh no.
Long-winded conversations are the whole point.
On the radio?
That's what I think. Like, who's my favorite interviewer? Anybody, really. Actually, I'm inspired to interview because of Art Taylor, a drummer he made this book called Notes and Tones. And he interviewed lots of jazz musicians because he was a jazz drummer. And I also am low-key. But, and they were rambling. Like, if you read it, they just started going off about everything. And he would, like, have to leave pages for people because they got into such a rhythm. That's kind of what I want to do anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to do it anyways. So, to wrap up, is there anything upcoming, any tours, any shows, any music you're excited about that you want to share with people right now, or still low-key?
I'm gonna... Ooh, I love that caterpillar that's next to you. Right in front of you.
Oh, I didn't even see him.
Okay, I say that I'm going to do some sort of all-ages show in New York at the end of August.
Hey.
It's going to be beautiful. Hopefully in a really big open space. And I would say that I don't know. I live kind of everywhere, so
Yeah.
hit me up. And if you want me to come play at your school, I will. Just hit me up. Everybody in the world.
We're gonna have you at Rutgers.
Thanks.
It's gonna happen.
But if anyone in the world wants to book me, I'm totally bookable. Yay!
I think it's a beautiful way to end things.
Yay!
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having me. I hope that wasn't weird.
I think it was
And
weird.
I know that it's always going to be weird because that's what it's about.
Exactly.
And I just am happy to be alive and happy that we're here right now in this moment.
It's gratitude.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Such a good day.
It is actually that nice. Especially in the shade. I think we're done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Save me now. The world is broken, I'm feeling down. Your love so pure, please send some down.